thank you all for coming to this meeting, and this is my last meeting that I'll be chairing at the beginning of this meeting, so thank you all. And so let's get straight on to the first item on the agenda, which is Carrie Townsend-Jones. You wanted to say something?
I'm just requesting a named vote for this first item, please.
Fair enough, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then if we get onto, we're just getting the paper ready, okay? Just so we get the name vote. So to elect the chair of council, we'll do this by, are we going to do this by a show of hands?
Yeah.
Take the name from the show of hands?
Yeah.
Just going to do this, right? So to elect the chair of council, nominations have been received from the following. So can I ask people to show hands, all those in support of Councillor William Thomas for chair of council?
Sorry, I've just asked for a named vote.
Yes, I just explained what we were going to do, Carrie.
Just asked for a show of hands.
Yeah, well, I said we were going to have a show of hands and then take the name from the show of hands. I just explained that just prior to we said this. I just discussed this with the clerk, and the clerk said that was okay. Okay, so we'll have a show of hands and then we can go around taking the names. Okay.
Everybody online voting.
Yeah,
Angela.
Yeah, right. How many on the screen share? Sorry. What line?
So that's for in favour of Will. Okay.
Okay, all those in favour of Carrie Townsend-Jones, please.
Six. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So just to confirm everything, we will now read the names out of who voted for who.
Okay. So in named councillors who have voted for Councillor Will Thomas are Councillor Rob Marshall, Trevor Carr, Richard Jarvis, Martin O'Neill, Will Thomas, Ian Scott, Francesca O'Brien, Laura Gilbert and Angela O'Connor. And the councillors' names who have voted in favour of Carrie Townsend-Jones are David Lewis, Carrie Townsend-Jones, Rebecca Fogarty, Pam Erasmus, Phil Keaton and Sarah Keaton.
Speech. Okay, well, thank you for that. Can I congratulate Will Thomas for chair and commiserate Councillor Townsend-Jones. There we go. Well, there is the new chain of office, and I will hand over the chair of the meeting to you now.
Thank you very much. Do we swap seats or are we all right? Yeah.
You can have a go.
Let's see what it's like. It's
Richard Jarvis, sorry, you're the chair, sorry.
Richard, yeah, just one.
First of all, I'd like to thank Martin for the way you've chaired things. We're all political, belong to political parties, but you chaired it in a non-political way, and I thought that was fantastic the way you did it, and I'm sure Will is going to do the same.
And I'd like to second that, and also thank you for the empathy you've shown to us all as councillors in your reign is the proper, not the right word, in your chairship over the last 2 years. And thank you for being an empathetic chair, and one who is not turned off to people's feelings.
Thank you very much, Robin. Rob.
Okay. For me, and also Angela and Francesca, who nominated me for the chair this year. So thanks very much. I'd just like to echo what the boys said earlier about Martin. I think we've worked together as chair and vice chair for I think it must be 3 times, maybe more.
Yeah, 3 times.
Three times, and obviously we've always worked very closely together. Had many phone calls and had to deal with things, and I've always found you very fair, very, very transparent, and you've done a great job for the village. And it's been some real tricky times as well, especially like going through the Underhill stuff and a lot of tricky things. So thank you very much. I'm sure, hopefully you'll be around in Mumbles Community Council for long to come. So thank you very much, Martin. Just a little bit about me. My name is Will Thomas. For those that don't know, Councillor Will Thomas was elected in 2017 to the Ward of Newton, Swansea Council and Mumbles Community Council. At the time, Miles Thomas, who was a family friend, he didn't want to do it anymore, and he stood down and convinced me that it wasn't much work, and you can come in, it's all fun, no problem. So I didn't know anything about the council, didn't know the function of the council. All I knew is that I loved the village, and I was often getting involved in community things. So Underhill was the big reason for myself standing, and I'm really proud that myself and others who are in the room and online had so much to do with that. And it's a huge thing for the village, Underhill, that 3G pitch, and indeed the hub and the changing room. So that's a massive tick off the list for the village, and I think we should all remember what a big thing that is. The other reason, I had a young family. I was living in, still do, was living in the village, and what I saw at the time before these improvements was, I was worried that Mumbles was becoming a bit more of a retirement village. There wasn't enough for children to do. Obviously, we got a fantastic beach, but there wasn't a play area. There wasn't a hub at Underhill like we have. So that was the reasons that I got involved. And now those two things are ticked off the list. It's fantastic. So we've got lots to do in the village. The off-stream centre being the big one. Obviously, that's very tricky, but I will try my best as chair and with the rest of the council to see if we can sort of do something with that. Huge amount of money, but we will try our best and see where we go from here. I am very busy. I've got, like I said, a young family, managing director of an events company, and I'm sort of on Swansea Council. So I was in two minds whether I had enough time to do this role, but I think with the team we've got, with the clerk being as good as she is and all the other staff, it makes it a lot easier to make that decision. So, without the staff here, I definitely wouldn't have considered it. So thank you to them as well. So on we go to the meeting. Okay, so to receive the chair's declaration of acceptance of office. Have I done that?
What?
Okay.
Just been elected chair again.
Just to sign and just sign. On to the meeting.
Sounds a bit presumptuous, that speech, wasn't it?
I'll get for your ribbon on.
Okay, so just if I may, Martin, did you want us to something you wanted to say, or is this an appropriate time?
Well, I was going to cover a lot of this in my annual report, which I'm going to be delivering later on in the agenda.
Okay.
But I would just like to say I've been immensely proud to be chair of the council. More than that, I've been immensely proud to be a community councillor for a community I love and I've loved for a very long time. Some of you might remember, going back a long time, when I first became a community councillor, I was co-opted onto the community council. I have quite a background in community development in South Wales, and I was co-opted onto the community council. And I remember saying in the speech or the talk I gave then, or the interview that I had then, of how much Mumbles means to me over the years. And, I've consciously lived my life, although I've sort of moved around the country quite a bit. Always at the aim of that was to come and live in Mumbles at some sort of point, which I managed to do, and then become a community councillor, then become chair of the council, and give something back to a place that means so much to me, and the place that I've got so much history with. I'm not disputing, as Will has touched on at times, it's been a very frustrating job, it's been a very onerous job, quite annoying job at times, to be honest. But that's only to be expected, to be honest. I think if you're going to get things done, that's what happens. But more than anything, and I would like to extend the support to those councillors in particular who have had that quiet word with me at times, just to give me that little bit of support when I think things have got to me a bit, because they do get to me. I know people might think I have got a thick skin, because you've got to have a thick skin as chair of the council. But at times things do get to me. and just those little words, and not just from councillors, from staff as well, really, that have just made me think, well, yeah, this is all worthwhile. I'm going to keep going. But as I said, I'll cover quite a bit of this in my report as I go later on. So thank you all.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah. Item number 3, to elect a vice chair of council. I'm right in thinking we've only had one nomination, which was Councillor Martin O'Neill, proposed by Richard Jarvis and seconded by Rob Marshall. So, that goes without. We need to vote. Okay, we need to vote. So, all those in favour of Martin O'Neill as vice chair of Malta Community Council. Yeah, that's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, Martin.
Thank you very much.
Right, mate, now.
I'll accept that offer then, yeah.
Okay, you saying that. Yeah. Okay, item number 4, to receive the vice chair's declaration acceptance of office, which is what Martin's doing now. And if I could swiftly move on to apologies for absence, item number 5, Clark. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Item number 6, any declarations of interest from any councillors on the agenda? Anything on the agenda? No. And item 7, to receive chair's annual report. Vice chair, sorry.
That's vice chair. That was this. Delighted in that. Okay. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to settle down for a bit now because it's quite a long report, because it's going to be a report not just about the past year of Mumbles Community Council, but I'm just going to put a bit of reflection in there about the 2 years I've had as chair of council, and maybe some of the things I've learned in that 2 years. And of course, I had another 2 years previously being chair of council as well. So in my annual report this year, I will not only report on the activities of Mumbles Community Council over the past 12 months, but also reflect on my past 2 years as chair, with the aim of using the reflection to hopefully provide some priorities, aims, objectives, and friendly advice for the coming year for both the council and the new chair. We started off in a way that might be seen as prescient for what was to come, as we were recognised as highly commended in various categories at the One Voice Wales annual conference in 2024. These awards demonstrated through clear and independent recognition early in the year the quality of the service that our hard-working officers and members deliver on a daily basis. It also showed how MCC's ethos of working in partnership with local volunteers and organisations allowed the development of innovative and inclusive initiatives aimed at responding to local needs. As the regular yearly cycle of MCC progresses and unfolds, we have our regular events, which include, among others, Mumbles Fest, Family Fun Days, Warm Hubs, Gardener's Question Time, Coffee with Friends, and our Christmas event. And these, together with our bigger projects, such as Underhill Park development, the tennis court, skateboard park, and Ostrip Centre, all contribute to provide a packed portfolio of initiatives that MCC provide to the local community. As a council, both internally and externally, we will always get those that would say, would have, should have, could have, in relation to any activity that we're involved in. But the bottom line is that we as a community council do not rest on our laurels, but get out there and make a real difference for local people and visitors alike. Recently, there were 2 other initiatives that deserve a special mention in this report, which are the Jubilee Gardens and the VE Day celebration afternoon tea. The magnificent rejuvenation of Jubilee Gardens into a significant environmental resource for the community has been a culmination of years of planning and activity by current and former staff and councillors, and a heartfelt well done should be extended to all those involved. The very recent VE Day afternoon tea held at the Ostrom Hall was a great success and was a good example of how an event that wasn't in the least overcomplicated brought community members together and made a real difference to people's lives. And to see and hear the appreciation for those who attended was incredibly rewarding. So again, congratulations to all those involved. We do so much throughout the year, I cannot cover everything in this report without it making it into a rather long and boring itinerary for all those I have missed, I apologise. But needless to say, our projects, both large and small, make a real difference to our community. Then to top everything off, at the end of April, the work of MCC was recognised with 5 awards from the 2025 One Voice Wales Conference, building on our success from the previous years. One of these awards was as Best Local Service Provided by Community Council, no less. These awards are great, and every one of us, both councillors and staff, should take pride in what has been achieved. It has to be said that due gratitude to our clerk for doing a lot of the work to ensure our work was submitted and recognised. And it is only through this hard graft of all those involved in MCC, both staff and councillors, that achieving such awards is possible. Some might say that would be a great way to grow as chair of MCC, having won 5 awards to hold up as a legacy. But as I have said, this is an achievement for all of us. And although all awards are great and provide recognition of our work, they don't reflect the day-to-day reality of services. Going forward, I think it is important that we not only reflect on our achievements and fool ourselves into thinking everything is rosy in the garden, it is also important to our continued development to reflect on those areas that are not so good, so that we might start to consider how we might improve. In relation to what might improve as council, I was disappointed, but unfortunately not at all surprised to see an independent review of MCC recently highlight that there is still a problem, as identified in previous report, with councillor bullying and general poor behaviour. Although as a council we have a code of conduct and civility and respect pledge, both of which I would encourage councillors to refer to after this meeting, this perennial problem is still very much with us. In recent weeks, I have had reported to me as chair what can only be called appalling behaviour directed towards other councillors and staff. Such actions can and do make people's lives a misery, and we all have a duty of care both to our staff and other councillors to do everything in our power to stamp it out. Conflict in an organisation our size is to be expected, but reacting to that conflict with bullying and aggression will merely exacerbate the situation rather than ameliorate it. In the same way we can all take pride in our awards and achievements, we should all feel deeply ashamed that an organisation that we're part of suffers from this blight of bullying. The late, great David Graeber said, bullying is not just a relation between bully and victim, it's really a 3-way relationship between bully, victim and anyone who refuses to do anything about the aggression. And that is why I think it is important to call out the matter in this report. I am of the opinion that those who simply turn a blind eye to bullying behaviour or just excuse it are just as guilty of it continuing as the aggressor themselves. I am under no false illusion that this is an issue unique to MCC. In the past, I've had cause to discuss this problem with One Voice Wales and Public Service Ombudsman for Wales, both of whom realise that it is an issue throughout the sector and who are looking for strategies to tackle it. If MCC can lead the way in public service delivery, community engagement and sustainability, I very much feel that we can take lead in tackling bullying. I have been immensely proud to be chair, as I've said earlier, I've been immensely proud to be chair of Bambles Community Council, although it has to be said it can at times be somewhat onerous. I have also been immensely proud to be a community councillor to a community I care deeply about. I believe the role of chair should be to facilitate the smooth running of the council by trying to ensure that all voices are heard, even those I might personally disagree with the goal of facilitating council to arrive at consensus. In order to do this, a chair should try to encourage and empower the quieter voices of the council and temper and quieten the more powerful and forceful. I feel my time as a community councillor has taught me that the council works best when it works together, and our precept players certainly get no benefit whatsoever from petty politicking at community council level. Although it is not to be expected that we always agree, and indeed robust debate should be part of the process of reaching consensus, this process should be possible while still maintaining civility and respect. As I step down as chair, I think we can all look back at the last 2 years as a time of change and achievement for MCC. And this is something all current and previous staff and councillors can take credit for. At that time, obviously, we had our challenges. In that time, obviously, we have had our challenges, but we have risen to them and dealt with them accordingly. As we go forward strategically, we need to remember that our key aim is to make Mumbles an even better place to live, work and visit, but at the same time ensure MCC becomes an innovative, inclusive and safe organisation and place to work for all councillors and staff. Let us celebrate our achievements, reflect on how we might improve and look forward with hope and aspiration to what we can achieve in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. So we're moving on to item number 8, review delegation arrangements to committees, subcommittees, staff and other authorities. Jeff, Clark?
So there's in item 8 in your agenda packs, there's a scheme of delegation, which outlines the delegation powers to myself and Paul as RFO.
Yeah.
We have previously adopted this in the past, so it's just bringing it forward for renewal. And also, if there's any powers you wish to delegate to the committees.
So is there, this is obviously standard, comes through at AGM every year, just for everyone's.
Yes, we adopted it mid-year last year, so that's why it didn't come to AGM. So it
Okay.
comes to the AGM this year now.
Okay, does anyone have any comments or opinions or want to discuss anything, or are we, Rob, yeah?
There's just one thing, for clarification. It was on the role of social media. It says it's the clerk. I was always under the impression it was the marketing and events officer.
So what this means with delegated authority, it means to have approval of what goes on to the final say of what goes on. It's not saying whose job it is, it's just saying what authority it is.
Thanks for clear.
Okay, there's no one else, we'll move on and adopt that. Do we need to vote on that? Yes, could I have a show of hands for everyone? Thank you. Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, yeah. To review the terms of reference for standing committees. Okay. Yeah, they're all included in the pack again. If anyone has any questions, now is the time. Anyone who's been chair, have any of those committees have any changes at all? No? Okay, so should I have a show of hands for everyone who's happy to adopt those? Yeah. It's unanimous as well, yeah.
Thank you.
Appointment of chairs to existing committees, okay. So the first one, we have Community and Social Development. We have 2 nominations for this. Ian Scott, proposed by Angela and seconded by Francesca. Sorry, I should say your full names. Ian Scott, Angela O'Connor and Francesca O'Brien. And the second nomination is Councillor Sarah Keaton, nominated by Carrie Townsend-Jones and seconded by Councillor Rebecca Fogarty. So would you like to do it the same way as we did before? Okay. Just a show of hands then. Okay.
I would like a named vote, please.
Okay, we'll do it the same way as we did before. So we'll do a show of hands for, because Ian's at the top, we'll do Ian first, and then we will, the clerk will confirm the names after. Okay, so all those in favour of Ian Scott, please. Okay, and all those in favour of Councillor Sarah Keaton.
Seven.
Hold on, I can't.
You keep your hand. Sorry, can you keep your hands up, guys? Thank you. Is there any abstentions at all? No abstentions. Okay, so it's 9-7 by me. Is there any abstentions at all?
If you're frozen, I think.
Helen, have you frozen?
Helen is frozen, I think.
Yeah.
Helen's
I
frozen.
put my hand up for Sarah.
Okay,
I can see everyone and hear everyone.
okay, thanks, Alan. Yeah, we can see you now. It's come back now, thank you. So there's 9 to 8, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 9 to 8 in favour of councillor Ian Scott, so congratulations, Ian. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to culture and tourism. We
Sorry,
have.
could you read out the names like you did for the previous vote?
Yes, we will. We'll go back
Thank
to
you.
reading out the names just to confirm of the Community and Social Development, how they voted.
So, voted in favour of councillor Ian Scott were councillor Ian Scott, councillor Laura Gilbert, councillor Francesca O'Brien, councillor Willow Thomas, Martin O'Neill, Richard Jarvis, Trevor Carr, Rob, Marshall, and Angela O'Connor in favour of councillor Ian Scott. Those who voted in favour of councillor Sarah Keaton were Sarah Keaton, David Lewis, Carrie Townsend Jones, Pamela Smith, Tim Zoo, Rebecca Fogarty, and Helen Nelson, and Phil Keaton.
Okay. Everyone okay with that? All right, so congratulations, Ian. Moving on to culture and tourism, councillor Angela O'Connor has been proposed by councillor Francesca O'Brien and councillor Ian Scott. There's no contestation. Contestation, it is now, yeah. So, but I'm guessing we still have to vote on this. Yeah, so all those in favour for Angela? And was also voted. I think that's unanimous. Any against? So any against? No. Any abstentions? Yeah, sorry, again, it was unanimous. I just thought double check. Thanks. Okay, moving on to Environmental Committee. Same again, Councillor Carrie Townsend Jones has been proposed by Councillor David Lewis and Councillor Rebecca Fogarty. So all those in favour for Carrie to be chair of the Environmental Committee? Okay, that's also unanimous. Congratulations. And final committee, again, Councillor Rob Marshall proposed by Martin O'Neill and Councillor Richard Jarvis. And again, no contestation. I don't know. So all those in favour of Rob Marshall? Just want to check.
Will, sorry, I didn't hear the committee. Can you just say it again?
Yeah, certainly. It's Finance and Compliance Committee.
Finance.
Rob is the only one who's been proposed. So it's all those in favour of Rob Marshall. So if you could keep your hands up, guys, just one more minute, just so Ian can. Okay, that. Okay, thank you. Any against? And any abstentions? There's one abstention there, Ian, okay? Abstention on the finance, yeah.
Vote carried.
Okay, that's carried. Okay, thanks very much. And I think that's the same chairs as we had for the committees last year. So I think everyone's done a very good job, and you know, some really good things have happened. So well done. And I think our 2-year chair rule is good to stop you know, people sitting in there for too long in those positions. So hopefully some of the newer councillors, or indeed some of the longest standing ones, will think about maybe if they want to chair one of those committees next year. So at the committees, if that is something that interests you, would encourage you to go for the vice chair. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to number 11, appointment of members of existing committees. So 11.
Label number 10.
Sorry, label number 10, is it? Okay.
It's a trick.
Yeah, keep me on my toes. Is there any that need it? No, there's not. Okay, so all the committees are there's not too many people in any of the committees, so there doesn't seem to be anyone that's going to be upset or we have to move anyone around. So I don't see any reason why we can't just all confirm this. So all those in favour? Okay, I think that was unanimous in, yeah. Yes.
That's you is the team for the appeals committee. I've only had one person come forward to that committee.
Put my name forward for that.
Okay, does anyone else want to put themselves forward for the appeals committee? We could do with one other person.
I'd be happy to go with that.
Okay, thank you very much. No,
No, personnel, sorry, yeah. I
so
can't-
someone who's not on personnel.
No, no, it's coming, yeah.
So this is a Mexican standoff. Last person to, does anyone want to go on to appeals committee? It's really fun. There's free.
It's really fun. I highly recommend it. I've spent so many hours enjoying myself on that committee.
Di makes a killer cup of tea, don't you, Di? Yeah. It's yeah, someone who's retired. Isn't it?
Scheduled at all, it's just as and when as needed, and there was only one need for it last year, and the year before there was only one need for it.
Don't feel you have to do it if you haven't got the time or commitment. So
If there's nobody else, you're still smith it.
you're not. Yeah, there we are, Richard. Thank you very much.
I thought so, then when you need three, you guarantee three.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
That's four.
Let's-
right, stay. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Robert Richard, was there a third as well?
Laura.
No, sorry, no.
She, yeah, but obviously she does work full time, so if it's in the day, she won't be able to attend that. Review and adoption of standing orders and financial regulations.
Pam, do you know how to put your hand up on the thing?
Sorry, Pam, are you wanting to come in?
You're on mute.
You're trying to get in this here.
She's still on mute. Pam, you're on mute still.
Can you use sign language? That says,
I think she's trying to do mine, isn't it?
yeah. No, I think she's, should we move on? Give us a thumbs up and we can move on.
If you're gonna get yourself off, maybe, yeah.
Give you another 5 seconds or so.
Chair, Pam just sent me a message to say she wanted to be on personnel. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's on there already.
You're
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
There we go.
I think the office should be, you can mute and unmute people, I think, can't you? I thought, Will, from your end there. Ian?
No one is doing that though, but
Who's on the mouse?
Do you want me to unmute Pam?
no, she's right.
Oh, she
she's
says.
Okay, right.
That's the work with me, that's fantastic.
The review adoption of standing orders and financial regulations.
Okay, so they were both in your packs, so they've both been reviewed and updated. Financial regulations have actually been amended to take in the new tendering specifications. So the thresholds have changed slightly there. Standing orders have been reviewed to make sure they're compliant with the latest ones that were issued in May 2023. So there are no changes there that we need to make you aware of at this time. In regards to financial regulations, the thresholds will now change to anything under £500, we need to seek value for money. Contracts between £500 and £3,000, we require 3 estimates. Anything over £3,000, we require 3 fixed price quotes. And anything over £30,000 requires to be advertised on South Wales, and also 3 formal tenders need to be received before it can be considered. So they're the changes that will be put into financial regulations.
Okay, thanks. That all sounds like it makes sense. Well, one thing I would like to just bring up here is, do other councils try to prioritise local firms at all in their standing orders or financial regulations?
We've got it in our procurement policy.
In our procurement?
Policy, yeah, because the model standing orders and financial regulations are what most council, well, what all councils adopt, and they may make changes to minor things, but then you can bring in your own policies in the background. So that's why we brought in the procurement policy that says that we will try to source anything within a 50-mile radius. So it's local first, and if not, then we need, if it's specialist, then we can go further afield.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd say locals 20 miles, 10 miles, even 1 mile. 2 months, but I think I was thinking more Mumble specific. So
We'll always start with
Okay.
What I was saying before, when the
Yeah.
policy was adopted by council in the previous meeting, is that if we can't get it within Mumbles, we can get it within the area of South Wales, so
Yeah.
you can stay within Wales, yeah, or Swansea, or
But our aspiration is Mumbles always first. There we are. Okay, great, thank you. So all those, anyone, sorry, any questions on that at all? Helen, question? No? Yeah, eager with a vote. No worries, no problem. Okay, so there's no questions. We just have to vote on that. So all those in favour of adopting those. Can't, yeah, Angela's there. She's put her hand up. Yeah. Tim, yeah, thank you. Okay. Carrie, can you put your hand up if you are, or yeah, all those in favour? Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Moving on to number 14, to appoint observers the meetings of governing bodies of the following organisations. Oystermouth. Let's do them in order, obviously. Oystermouth Historical Society. I believe, Ian, you are representative on that. Is that correct?
Yes, that is the case, Chair. Yes, I'm also a member. So.
Okay. So, firstly, before I ask you if you're willing to carry on, does anyone else want to challenge Ian for that? Okay. No. So, are you happy to?
Yes, I'm happy to continue.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, West Cross Community Association. Sarah, is that you and Phil or yourself? Are you happy to carry on?
Yes, I think Phil's actually person, because I'm involved now, so I can't be the observer. So Phil's the observer and I'm vice chair.
Okay, super. Does anyone else want to jump in? No. Okay. Mumbles Development Trust. Do we have? I think Carrie's stepped out of the meeting. Has she? There's 2 empty chairs on the screen. I don't know if we have to take a note of that yet.
I haven't stepped out, but no, I'm not the observer for Mumbles Development Trust.
If you could keep your camera on, and if you don't, if you do have to turn it off for any reason, if you could just maybe send Ian a message about that, that'd be great. Okay, so is anyone who is on MDT then? Anyone?
I believe it was Richard Jarvis.
Did they ever meet? Did they? That's all we can do. Does anyone want to be the council's representative of Mumbles Development Trust for the next year?
Are they meeting, or do we know anything? Are they active?
shall I inquire if they're meeting?
There we are. Yeah, we'll put that on the next agenda. Thank you. Yeah. Steering committee for MCA, that no longer exists, so we will strike that off. Oystermouth Management Advisory Group, that no longer, certainly hasn't met to my knowledge. Carrie, is that met at all? Do you?
No, I don't think so. I think we agreed that Kerry as the clerk would represent us if it ever did meet. I think was what was agreed by the Austrian working group.
So it's the Austrian one. Yes, sorry, my dyslexia kicked in there. I read something else. Austrian Management Advisory Group. That's me.
Oh, it's you. There you go.
Bristol Thomas.
Yeah, so that's me there. Oystermouth Castle and All Saints Church. Yourself? Happy to carry on?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so do we vote on those on block, or are they just advisory sort of mentions? Yeah, if we could, I'm putting the names down. So if we could take a vote on Ian representing us on the Historical Society, Phil on the West Cross Community Association, MDT, we are going to come back to that, myself on the Austrian Management Advisory Group, and Rob on the Oystermouth Castle and All Saints Church. All those in favour? Thank you. Okay, that's passed. Pam, have you got your hand up to speak, or is that...
Yes, please. I've worked it out now. Mumbles Twinning Association, should that be part of this group?
That's the next group.
Yeah, it's on the next.
It's on the next
It's on the next one, Pam.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So, item 15, to appoint representatives to the following organisations, One Voice Wales Swansea Area Committee. I know Carrie's been doing this. Carrie, you happy to continue on that?
Yeah, I appear to be vice chair of it at the moment, so I guess should carry on.
Yeah, I guess.
I nominated her when she wasn't present.
Yeah, well done. Okay, so we'll take a block at the end. Town Community Councils Forum. I think, Carrie, you're also doing that, are you?
Yeah, I think you can have at least 2, possibly more.
Would wish to continue?
Yeah, I'm fine doing that, yeah.
Okay, and does anyone else have a interest? Sorry? Okay, okay.
Sarah's put her hand up.
Sarah, would you like to say something?
Yes, I was going to ask Carrie how often they meet.
It's kind of a bit random, isn't it, Kerry? But there is actually a conversation being had as to whether the Swansea Area Committee and the Town and Community Councils Forum should merge.
Oh, right.
So potentially in the future, the 2 could actually meet at the same time.
Okay, well, I don't mind putting my name down for it.
Great, good.
That's fine.
Forum at the moment. If they merge, obviously we'll have to reassess that. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Moving on, One Voice Wales Larger Councils Committee. I guess, Carrie, you're on that as well. I'd quite like to go to the next meeting if it's possible for more than one to go. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem.
Okay, great. And Twinning Association of Mumbles, who is our representative on that currently? Is it Pam? Is it Rebecca? And Rebecca, Pam and Rebecca, is it? Rebecca, do you want to come in? I can.
Well, I've been doing the link community councillor stuff for Twinning. Is that the same? Or is that additional? I don't mind if Pam wants to do it. I'm very happy. I've had a lovely time, but
No, I'm quite happy for you to carry on. You're the one who speaks French, not me.
okay. Well, je suis content de continuer.
Okay, so that's Rebecca. We'll go back to English now because okay. So that is to appoint representatives of the following organisations: Carrie to One Voice Wales, Carrie and Sarah to Town and Community Forum, Carrie and myself to One Voice Wales Larger Councils, and Rebecca to the Twinning Association. So all those in favour? Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to appointments of school governors. 6. Is this isn't in the book, so is that? Okay, so I've got a list of well, I mean, I know them off the top of my head, but okay, so only because they're in our ward. Oystermouth, I think, is currently Angela. Are you happy and do you want to stay on there?
No, I'm the community council governor. I think Angela's the city councillor.
Yes, she is. Sorry. So, Carrie, are you happy to stay on at Oystermouth?
Yeah, I think I've got another 2 years to go.
Okay. And Newton Primary School is Rob.
Yeah.
Are you happy to stay on? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've still got another couple of years to go anyway.
Okay. And then we've got Whitestone, which is Pam. Are you happy to stay on there, Pam?
They've signed me up for 2 years without asking me, so I don't have much choice really.
Okay. Then we got Llanderrow, which is it Rebecca? Is that you?
It was Sarah, wasn't it, Sarah?
Sorry, Chair, it was me, but I've stepped down from Llanderrow. I'm still in Grange, though.
Okay, yeah, Grange. Okay. Are you happy to stay on at Grange while we're talking about that? Yeah, Sarah. Okay, so it doesn't look like we've got a Llanderrow or a St David's or male. So males, Llanderrow and St David's. Does anyone want to put themselves forward for any? So that's local authority governor for Llanderrow, Males or St David's.
Just to say I've completed my term at Males, and I'm governor at Whitestone and Bishop Gore as city councillor, so you're only allowed to be governor at 2 schools. Otherwise I would put myself forward for one of those. But yeah, St David's have historically said that they don't have a space, but that may have changed.
They have actually emailed in asking us to, obviously saying that Rebecca's finished and they would like to know who the new zoning could be.
Okay.
Just to confirm what Rebecca said, I contacted St David's a couple of years ago now. And they said that they would get back to us when they had the space, but they never have.
Okay, so no one's coming forward here, and I don't like to force people, so maybe we keep that active and put it on the next agenda and and send an email.
To the schools that were looking to get and ask them what they would anticipate the role of the governor being, so we can bring that back so it's more everybody, new councillors then can.
Okay. So that was Carrie representing Oystermouth, Rob representing Newton, Pam representing Whitestone, and Sarah at Grange. So all those in favour? Okay, thank you very much. That's carried. Moving on to item 17, review of inventory and land and other assets, including building and office equipment.
This is a bit.
Yeah, it's fun. Okay, so it's in your packs. There's obviously a review of all the assets and the costs, the values associated to them. Obviously, some are just an accounting exercise. For example, skate park is down at 407 or 408,000, but some would argue that anyway, I wouldn't say. Okay, so is there any questions on that? But it's just basically a review of our assets, even including the office phone, £17. Okay, so if there's no questions on that, that's just for information, is it? Or
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Okay, that's just for information. So moving on. Item 18, confirmation of agreements for insurance cover in respect of all insurable risks. So this is the policy schedule. So I guess this covers our events, our skate park.
There's just one change that I do need to highlight to councillors, that we were actually under insuring our assets within this building. So we've actually increased the cover on those this year from last year.
Okay, and the public liability is 10 million. Okay, and does it insure a certain number of events or all different types of events? Do you have to report each event to them, or does it broadly for whatever event you do? Okay, and any function the council does. So okay, volunteers, all that covers volunteers. Yeah,
in our events, so they give us a copy of their own.
Yeah.
Then clean on those assessments as well.
Okay. Okay, so I, don't know if anyone's got any questions on that, but if not, is that for information, or do you need to take a vote on that information? Okay. Okay, thank you. Item number 19, review of council complaints procedure. So obviously, if so obviously, if a councillor has a complaint they would like to make, there is a procedure, and we try to address that and achieve an outcome internally before taking that any further. And this is just the complaints policy and procedure for that. So obviously we've had. Oh, Carrie, yeah, would you like to come in?
Yeah, it's nothing to do with councillors, is it? It's to do with members of the public who have a complaint against MCC.
Our councillor one as well?
No, because I did one for the councillor.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Is that for information?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Review of council policies, procedures, practices in respect of its obligation under the Freedom of Information and Data Protection legislation. Item 20. I'm sure you've all read through it. Okay, no questions? That's just for information, I assume, as well. Sorry.
Just say, obviously, one of the things that we'll be going back through Finance Committee when they meet next will be to bring back the policy subgroup so we can carry on working on the policies, because we've got quite a lot of policies that are outdated that need to come forward. So these will be reviewed as part of that policy and updated to bring them in line.
Okay, and when we do that, it's good to get I know it's not a fun sounding thing, but it's good to get a broad spread of councillors, if we can, included in that, because obviously when it comes down to the detail, it's always better the more people involved in that, the better. So yeah, we'll bring that to a future meeting. Review of the council's expenditure incurred under S137 of the Local Government Act 1972 of the Power of Wellbeing.
This actually relates to the memorial plaque and the wood that was used to place the memorial plaque on for Steve Hebden.
So is that just for?
That's just the review of the minutes, just to replace it in front of you, and I can say it's been reviewed in the minutes, yeah.
Review of councillor attendance at council and committee meetings. So you can see in your pack, it's got the attendances on there, and obviously councillors who've left as well. So obviously we want those attendances to be as high as possible. So if anyone ever can't make a meeting, just remember to give your apologies. That, I guess, is also just for information, and will be placed on the website as well for our constituents to see. So the next one, determining time and place of ordinary meetings up to including the next annual meeting of council. So I know we changed it from 6 to 6:30 a few years ago. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But if anyone's got a big issue with any timings, this is just for full council, right?
Yeah, but it's for all the so it's for full council and the committee meeting. So just determining.
Can't the committee meetings choose their own times?
They can, but what's determining here is the timetable of the dates. So whether you continue on your second Tuesday of the month for full council, those ones.
Got you.
Okay.
Okay. So does anyone have any issues, or should we keep everything the same? Yeah. Same. No, everyone's fine. All right, great. Yeah, moving onwards. Do we need to vote on that?
No, so it's just for information. So I'll just, so everybody, and obviously reading back the minutes are aware. So council will remain on the second Tuesday of the month. Finance and compliance will meet on the third Monday of the month. Community and social will meet on the third Wednesday of the month. Environmental will meet on the fourth Monday of the month, and culture and social will meet on the culture will meet on the fourth Wednesday of every month. So if all councillors could just put them in their own diaries, and we will send invites out to your councillor diaries so you've got them there for you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, and the last thing on the agenda is to receive nominations to the Honourable Mumbles Award. Now, I remember in the proposal that was put forward, it was that this was going to be a session. Yeah, because, and it was agreed upon. The reason for that, just to tell the camera, is if there's any reason that people would not, if they want to nominate someone, or someone's got a knowledge or information of for whatever reason, we can't. Oh, we can vote. We can take a vote. Yes. Can't we just vote to do it in closed session now?
You're going to go into closed session.
Does it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think start as we mean to go on this one. I think there's long term, there's maybe several reasons that someone would not want to nominate someone or discuss something about someone else that we don't want to be public. So I think what we do, we keep, next year it'll be on the AGM, but we're going to move this to the June meeting and do it in closed session. And that still gives us plenty of time before Mumbles Fest to organise something.
No, it doesn't. It's after Mum Fest. Can it not go on next week's agenda? Can we reissue it with that on? Because it's still 7 days. Okay, councillor to redo it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a. Might have a chat with just quickly.
Just adjourn the meeting.
Yeah, can we just adjourn the meeting for 5 minutes, please? I'm just concerned about something. If we could just 1 sec.
Just shouted it then. Scream at it.
What's going on? I don't understand what's happening.
It just adjourned for 5 minutes, Pam, for the chair to take advice from the clerk.
Right, so thank you. I didn't hear that. Thank you.
I don't know. How we get it to translate it, but but I haven't seen it. So I just wondering if she has actually maybe she's going to.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yes. Switch you off then. Okay.
I thought we wrong.
Yeah. So again, I think it's important that we have these discussions in private when we're nominating people. What the clerk has said though is that we can do a special meeting on the 27th. To be correct, we would need 6 people. Is that right? 6 or 7?
What is that?
6.5.
So we would have to have 7 people at that meeting, but we can Tuesday special meeting. So we're going to call understanding that obviously not everyone will probably be able to make it, but we will call a special meeting on the 27th just to honour of Mumbles. Okay. So if everyone is in agreement with that, is that okay?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, Alan.
well, I was going to say we're meeting tonight. We're meeting next week, and is an additional meeting on the 27th.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I can't really see any other way around it, unfortunately. It should be fairly swift. And you know, if you can't make it, then obviously that's why we've got the 7 members quorate. But that's the only way that we can get it done before Mumbles Fest, unfortunately. Okay, Rebecca.
Am I right in thinking the intention was for people to bring nominations verbally this evening?
There was a bit of a mix-up on that one, so it was either verbal or written. Some people have emailed in, but that I was going to accept verbal ones as well. Yes.
Okay, so if people are not able to attend on the 27th, they could request that somebody else who they think knows can attend nominate on their behalf or something. You don't actually have to be at the meeting for your nomination to be considered. Is that right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, in my opinion, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apologies for that. 6:30. Yeah. So apologies for that, everyone, but can't see any other way around it. Okay. All right. Great. Thanks very much for your attendance, and we'll see you lots this month. Yeah.